The first update we have today is about a major reality show premiere where a 17-year marriage was legally eradicated by the church, a divorce was filed the day after viral PDA photos, and a new style icon entered the group to call out the drama. The premiere of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills shows the ladies navigating some pretty severe relationship shakeups. So, Dorit Kemsley filed for divorce from PK immediately after photos showed him making out with another woman. She apparently rejected his plea for joint custody because his constant travel just makes his lifestyle unsuitable for the kids. Then you have Kyle Richards, who's adjusting to single life after separating from Mo. Her daughter Sophia finds Mo's public smooching so embarrassing she's even calling him a hoe, which honestly Kyle is kind of enjoying. Kyle says she's pretty much desensitized to most PDA photos at this point. Sutton Stracke, on the other hand, is dealing with a whole lot of loss. She's trying to figure out why her close friend Garcelle unfollowed the group, and she also let her staff member Avi go. But the biggest bombshell was a letter from her ex-husband Christian. He requested an annulment with the Catholic Church, which would completely eradicate their 17-year marriage. Sutton just sees this as him trying to assert control. And the new addition, Rachel Zoe, who is newly single herself after 26 years, is providing some sharp commentary. She bluntly calls PK a suck and is advising Kyle and the group to just embrace a hot girl summer. She even shared that someone tried to set her up with Kyle's estranged husband Mo while they were in Aspen. Before we get into the next update, please make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to this channel. Okay then, let's move on to next update now.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion taping. The seating chart reveal caused just instant chaos among fans. And, even the host showed up with a surprising new feature. Yeah, Andy Cohen debuted 4 new teeth at the taping. It was confirmed after Tamra Judge asked him about his new chompers. But okay, the focus really turned to the seating chart, which Bravo dropped soon after the taping on December 4th. And you know how these things go. These seating positions are always watched so closely. Being in the farthest seats from the host is traditionally seen as a sign that those cast members might be on the shopping block for the next season. So, Bronwyn Newport and Lisa Barlow, they secured the coveted first chairs, right, closest to Andy. Chanel Ayan from Dubai was even celebrating that placement. The second chairs went to Heather Gay and Meredith Marks. But the biggest reaction, for sure, came from the third chairs, which were occupied by Angie Katsanevas and Meredith Cosby. Vans and even Kiki Bart of Miami were questioning why Angie was placed so far away. Viewers were just confused that Angie and Meredith were not only in the third chairs, but seated on opposite sides. Finally, Brittany Bateman and Whitney Rose were placed in the seats farthest from the host. And honestly, some viewers weren't surprised by this, noting that Whitney being in the last chair is something they can always count on. So this was today's update about the RHOSLC reunion shakeup. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about Britani Bateman. She just gave this absolutely explosive interview where she confirmed her relationship status, called out 2 of her co-stars for gaslighting, and even revealed which major Bravo star she says is the rudest person she met at BravoCon. So first up, she confirmed she and Jared Osmond are totally together, and she even called him the love of her life. For all the criticism they've gotten, she basically said viewers just don't see the full picture of their relationship. Then she got into the BravoCon drama. She straight up named Luann de Lesseps as the rudest celebrity she met there. Apparently, Britani asked for a cameo and Luann just said, "Oh, I don't do other people's shows." And of course, she talked about her castmates. She accused Meredith Marks and Lisa Barlow of being used to gaslighting, specifically about that plane fight they deny ever happened. Britani swears there were witnesses who can back her up. Interestingly, she was surprised that Mary Cosby had her back, saying Mary is integrous and does not lie. But she also admitted she felt devastated and really regretted telling Mary she was the least Christ-like, acknowledging that saying it was not Christ-like either. And just to leave us wanting more, she hinted she might have more proof of Seth Marks' alleged affair than just that TikTok video, simply saying maybe. So this was today's update about Britani Bateman's exclusive interview. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And wow, things have just completely exploded. 2 of the longest-running cast members have confirmed they are totally shutting out a third close friend after a huge blowout on a recent cast trip. This is a big one. So, Kyle Richards was on Watch What Happens Live, and she laid it all out. She confirmed that she and Erika Jane are no longer speaking to Dorit Kemsley. Like, at all. Apparently, there was a very big blowout during their trip, and Kyle said this rift is so much harder because, well, they've been the longest cast members and were supposed to be the closest. Of course, she also talked about her separation from Mauricio Umansky. When someone asked about him maybe hooking up with Rachel Zoe, Kyle joked that Rachel is too old for him, but then made it clear that was a little jab at Mauricio. She's got mixed feelings about his new modeling gig, saying he sends these sexy photo shoots to the family chat, though she did admit he looks good. As for them ever getting back together, all she said was, "I'm not voting on that." Kyle also said she's confused about her status with Garcelle Beauvais, saying Garcelle just doesn't speak to us. And she pretty much confirmed that any truce between Dorit and Sutton Stracke is just for the cameras, saying they don't really like each other. So this was today's update about the RHOBH cast rifts. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we're going to talk about Luann de Lesseps, who just shared the shocking 7-figure income she's making post-Bravo. She also spilled the details on how she successfully used a deliberate chair bump to flirt with actor Hugh Grant. So Luann said the Real Housewives of New York City reboot felt like a death and admitted she didn't feel appreciated. But her Cabaret career, which she says saved her life, is now making her well into 7 figures, totally comparable to her old housewife salary. Her upcoming Love Tour is even going to cover her past on-screen love affairs, including Tom D'Agostino Jr. and The Pirate. She wasn't a huge fan of the new RHONY season, though. She said she was a little bored and thinks Bravo should have just mixed the two casts. As for her old co-stars, she and Ramona Singer have totally turned a corner, and she and Dorinda Medley are tight, but she doesn't see Sonia Morgan much. She also got real about her 2017 arrest, saying it changed her relationship with alcohol. She calls it a volume issue, not alcoholism, and says she learned to balance her drinking, which, by the way, meant quitting martinis because, as she put it, vodka and I are not friends. And on dating, well, she shared that story about pushing her chair into Hugh Grant to flirt. But get this, she still calls ex-husband Count Alexander de Lesseps the love of her life. Despite being so devastated by the divorce, she wanted to run her car into a tree. She denied ever having sex with the pirate, but said if she had, she would wear it like a badge of honor. She's even open to getting married again and would consider joining the Golden Bachelorette. So this was today's update about Luann de Lesseps' massive income and dramatic confessions. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker's divorce. And wow, it is escalating from messy to just plain explosive. The split involves some really serious allegations. We're talking claims of secret girlfriends, counterclaims about an open marriage, and a pretty dramatic custody battle over their children. And it's all complicated by the fact that Todd is allegedly refusing to leave Kandi's home. So, at the center of this are these accusations that Todd has a secret girlfriend. A source named Funky Dineva even said they know her name starts with an H and put out a warning to this Miss H about being exposed online. This source also confirmed Todd had a vasectomy early in the relationship, which, shuts down any rumors about him getting someone pregnant. But then you hear other sources alleging Kandi has a girlfriend too, and that the marriage might have actually been an open one. Then there's the legal drama. Todd is apparently refusing to leave the Atlanta home, a property Kandi owned all on her own before they even got married. He's also supposedly trying to position himself as the primary caretaker. He has been posting videos of himself cooking and cleaning, basically to argue for full custody of their kids, Ace and Blaze. His reasoning? That Kandi's super busy work schedule means she shouldn't be the primary parent. Kandi's response to all this public mess has been pretty direct. She filed a request to seal all the divorce documents. That means all the financial info, custody details, and testimony. She's arguing that since they're public figures, keeping this private is what's in the best interest of their minor children. So this was today's update about Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker's complicated divorce. Let's now move on to the next up.
Next, we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Miami star Alexia Nepola, who just rated Mauricio Umansky as hot and sexy, while also throwing some major shade at his recent behavior. Plus, she's giving an update on where things stand with her estranged husband, Todd Nepola. Okay, so Alexia has known Mauricio for a while, and she was even at his recent event in Miami for his new clothing line. She praised him, saying she is rooting for him and calling him hot and sexy. But then, right after the compliment, she made it super clear that he is not her type. And her reasoning for this? She said she believes she is a little too old for him, and then added this little comment: "We know he likes them very young." She did try to soften it a bit, asking Kyle Richards not to get mad and saying it was all respectful, but she definitely pointed to his recent behavior. And then, when it came to her own life, she talked about her estranged husband, Todd Nepola. She says they are in a good place now and that she's someone who loves too hard and just doesn't know how to unlove a person. But she did say she has a boundary. She doesn't follow Todd on social media because she feels it's better for her. It really sounds like she's in a different chapter of her life, has done a lot of healing, and felt that some distance is good for both of them. So this was today's update about Alexia Nepola's views on Mauricio Umansky and her status with Todd. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we're going to talk about Austen Kroll, who's getting candid about the reality TV drama all around him. We're talking an unexpected breakup and him taking a side in a really shocking feud. So, you know that whole feud between Salley Carson and Taylor Ann Green? Well, Austen jumped in. Taylor had suggested Salley had an affair with a married doctor and was hiding a boyfriend while she was pursuing him and Craig Conover. But Austen said he's actually proud of Salley for speaking her mind and responding to all that instead of just letting the drama die down. He also got into his recent split from Audrey Pratt after, a year and a half? He called it a difficult but adult breakup because nothing bad actually happened. The issue was they were questioning their next move and just didn't want to keep being apart for 3 years. And get this, Austen explained he's never broken up with someone like this before. He admitted that in the past he was too chicken scared to end things and would just drive his partners nuts until they broke up with him. And finally, he talked about whether there's a rivalry between the Southern Charm and Summer House casts, especially after Craig and Paige DeSorbo split. He admitted there might have been some snarky going back and forth where everyone would ride hard for our show. But he clarified he has no personal beef and even texted Paige after the breakup and got a really kind message back.